excited to introduce you to my next guest, Kerri, who is a marketer who does some amazing work for law firms. She builds marketing machines, and we're all about marketing machines here at Marketing Boss. So I am going to bring her on our virtual stage in just a second after we play this video for you.
Welcome to Care Sandwich, the podcast where we dive into the success journeys of law firm owners across the country. I'm Margarita Eberline, your host and the founder of Marketing Boss, a fractional chief marketing officer firm for law firms. On this show, we'll explore the challenges, strategies, and victories that have shaped law firms and how they wrap every interaction with care. Because we believe that caring isn't just a value, it's a strategy for success. So grab your favorite sandwich, sit back, and let's dig into a conversation filled with insight, inspiration, and of course, a lot of care.
Hello. Welcome to the virtual stage, Kerri.
Much for having me, Margarita. Great to be here.
Yes. So when you and I spoke before I invited you to be on this podcast, you told me your story. And now I'm going to invite you to share your story on the podcast because it's really cool. You're all about creating optimized marketing machines, and we love that. So Tell us your story and what do you do?
Well, Margarita, I think it resonates so perfectly with your audience because the one thing that you repeat so often is the care model, that we can't just do things. We have to care about how we do things. And ultimately, I ended up spending a heck of a lot more time in intake than marketing simply because I cared too much, or not too much. I cared enough, but as I'm sure you've experienced too, it's hard to find marketing teams that really, really care how that marketing dollar is spent and what it results in. And I really struggled with that as a marketer. I felt very strongly that, I was entrusted with a marketing budget, and that budget was never an expense. It's always an investment. And as the marketer, I had to make that a really great investment. And I learned early on that in order for that to be a really good investment, I was really going to have to get my hands dirty when it came to intake, because that is really the secret to great marketing. It's great intake.
I love that. Here at Marketing Boss, we have our Connect Convert program. And so when you and I spoke, I was like, oh my gosh, I get it. And I'll describe it a little bit differently. I think that there are a lot of marketing agencies that care and are specialized in a tactic, and they can only see within that tactic how to be thorough. And I think what I like about you is that you're thorough with the strategy as a whole and all the moving parts, including top of the funnel and sales and intake. So talk to us about your book, The Law Firm Growth Machine, I believe it's called.
Yes, very good. Yes. So the Law Firm Growth Machine is about obviously growing your law firm amidst a host of challenges that attorneys are facing right now. Chief among them being sheerly competition. There's so much competition, and you brought up the word tactic, which is part of my 5T. So the F5T, the flywheel 5T, is really the concept of the growth machine. How do we get growth that fuels additional growth? And the tactic that marketing teams employ are their expertise. They may be experts at any one tactic, but in order to be really effective, you have to have tactics at every stage of the funnel that are going to promote conversion and ultimately result in clients. And so the line that I've repeated for years, going back to my own marketing time, is clicks aren't clients. And finding the marketing team to be incredible at making the phone ring or getting the click and the online conversion is where most marketing business ends. And that's where the firm really needs to step in. When I am traveling to conferences and people ask me what I do, I often tell them that I make marketing teams look good because their job is to make the phone ring. My job is to make sure that we know where the phone call came from. It was answered quickly, it was responded to empathetically, and it was converted on that first call. So I'm a partner with the law firms because that marketing investment is so critical to, I'm a partner to the marketing agencies because they're doing great work making the phone ring, getting that click, and getting that online conversion. We need to get the in-firm conversion as well. So the concept behind the growth machine is just like any machine, a machine, whether it's a coffee grinder or an electric toothbrush, it makes it easier to do more work with less effort. And so that's what we look at across the marketing to intake conversion. How do we make it possible to do more, streamline those efforts, and get better results with less effort?
So I'm going to share an illustration, and I bet you're going to finish off all the things that go wrong after this step.
Okay.
So law firm hires a wonderful killer agency that knows how to get the phone to ring. And they build campaigns for Google, for Facebook, all the channels, right?
All the things.
Then what goes wrong?
They don't answer the phone is the biggest issue. They don't weave a net that's going to ensure no lead is left behind. They're not, God, Margarita, I could list a million things in that scenario. Are the numbers being tracked?
Or they forget to use a tracking number, so we never know how many calls actually came in.
Exactly, and God bless them for throwing all that confidence in with the agency and saying, okay, go do your thing, but we don't need to do what the traditional spray and pray method that we had to do once upon a time. Once upon a time, you did just give the marketing agency the money, and that analog phone rang, and the rest was gonna tell its tale in the results of the law firm. We now have the means to know, how individuals interacted with the ad, when they interacted with the ad the first time, the last time, what phone number they dialed, what ad they saw, what landing page they landed on, what keyword they searched. There's just so much data. And, I was actually on a call with a client this morning, showing them some of that rich data and saying, if you're looking at the data and you can see the form that was submitted or the chat that took place, and it says they landed on the blog, is my insurance company selling me out? And now you know exactly what their fears are, and you can speak directly to those fears. So good marketing, good data capture is going to lead to better rapport building, which is going to help with conversion. So it all has to tell the story together. The bottom line is there's an amazing data trail that's being left behind, and it can really help firms make some really good decisions about what's working. Now, I do want to caution that with the most important number that for every law firm should be, what did I spend and what is my ROI? That's it. I need to know that my money was well invested and is going to result in a really fantastic ROI. I do, as the marketing person, look at some of that granular data. How did this campaign perform in this market, and what was that cost per click? But at the end of the day, very seldom does an online buyer, user, whatever you want to call them as a law firm prospect, just simply, show up online, click once, and that's the end of the journey. There's a story that the journey that the user takes is usually pretty vast. And so being omnipresent in social and Google, online and offline, that's where we really see the journey complete itself. And so even if your one campaign seems to be underperforming compared to others, you can trust that being omnipresent, that's helping the entire campaign move forward.
Yeah, and remarketing is another aspect too, right? You can have somebody respond to a digital ad, and if you remarket to them passively with a billboard or a TV ad, that helps. And then if you remarket to them directly, because there's ways to remarket to website visitors that don't convert, to people that fill out forms from specific campaigns that don't necessarily convert, you can remarket and nurture those leads. And there's a lot there.
Even for my own business, you can test it yourself. If you come to my website, my ad will follow you around the internet for the next 30 days. Because in most cases, people will, meet me at a conference, or they'll hear about working with me from a referral partner, and they'll come to my website. And then that's usually not the end of the journey. They have to think. Someone will become a client. They've got to think, they've got to need, et cetera, et cetera. But now over the next 30 days, they'll see that ad. They'll be prompted to buy my book. They might opt for a discovery call. So we have to look at sometimes how the marketer markets to really see what's working for them. And I'll say one of the most cost-effective ways is to do that retargeting. If you got someone to your website once, just because they didn't make a decision doesn't mean they won't ultimately decide to work with you.
Yes, two marketing jargon terms, reach and frequency. You need both.
Yes.
Reach is you reach people, and frequency is repeatedly.
Absolutely. And the modern customer expects that. I mean, I don't even write down when my next hair appointment is because I know they're going to text me 4 times before that to remind me. And so as I lead up to that week, I'm like, oh, I know it's coming. I got that email coming or that text message coming at me. And we all do. We've all become reliant on that. And so does the modern online consumer for law firms.
Hey there, I hope you're enjoying the conversation and your sandwich as much as we are. I want to take a moment to share a few words about our sponsor, Marketing Boss. If you're a law firm owner looking to supercharge your growth, our team at Marketing Boss is here to help. We've got over a decade of experience and a proven track record, and we specialize in growing law firms like yours with data-driven marketing leadership. So if you own a law firm and you're ready to get a predictable, steady flow of cases from your marketing, let's connect at marketing-boss.com.
So what is one piece of advice that you find yourself giving to law firm owners over and over again? Share it with us today.
That's a great one, Margarita. There's so much advice.
Obviously,
well, number one is always simply just don't miss the phone calls. I mean, it's shocking to me that firms still miss phone calls, which in the age of AI, like there's really no need for that, at a minimum. And that's a whole nother conversation. We'll have to have another day about, AI call handling. But nobody, you can't miss calls. That's first and foremost. From there, the one that I think is the most common error that I see firms make, and I really believe it's an error, is telling me the percentage of conversions that they have out of their total lead volume. So if they had 100 leads and they signed 20 cases, they don't say to me, I signed 20%. They say I signed 20 cases, and that means nothing if I don't know how many of those 100 leads are qualified. And so the metrics that I'm looking for is how many qualified leads did you talk to? And how many of those qualified leads did you convert? And I want to see that number north of 90%. I want to see the qualified number in that 25 to 40%, depending on your reputation and referral business. But I think the biggest mistake people make is looking at conversion of leads. That just doesn't tell me anything about anything. It doesn't tell me enough about the marketing, and it doesn't tell me enough about the intake team. So right here, right now, make a commitment, whoever is listening. Conversion of qualified leads is the metric that matters. And of course, how many qualified leads did you generate?
And I love what you just said, that range of qualified leads. Expand a little bit more on that, because
Sure.
A lot of people assume that if I don't have more qualified leads, it's marketing's fault, right? Or it's
they always want to come for marketing. They always want to come for marketing. The finger pointing to marketing is these leads stink, Kerri, and I've heard it. And I hate to tell you all, but yes, these leads stink. There's after all these years of talking about, we will, no fee unless we win. We will come to you if you've had an injury. They still call when it's only property damage. They still call when it's their fault. And so the vast majority of leads are not going to be qualified. Now that range of 25 to 40%, like I said, depends on your referral business, really. If you've got a lot of people in the community who have had a great relationship with you and are telling people, oh, you need to talk to so-and-so, then you've had somebody who knows who you are and what you do and can refer you. That's going to bring down your cost per acquisition. You still want to be in the marketing game for sure. But now the 20 to 25% of leads from an online campaign that are qualified, because most people calling a law firm are still not going to be qualified. Now we kind of balance that with the 80% of referral leads that are going to be qualified. And so if you are building your brand over time, growing the population of advocates in your community, building referral partnerships, you should see your your cost per acquisition over time come down while your business increases. So we're not spending more on marketing, we're just treading water, but the business is growing because of our flywheel effect, which is what we talk about in the book. We need leads to become clients, and we need clients to become advocates that drive new business into the firm. If we can get the funnel and the flywheel working in tandem, we can maintain a comfortable marketing budget while growing our reputation and overall growing the business in time.
I love this. My heart is singing right now. Like,
Yeah,
I just
know
love
it.
everything. I love all the truths that you're dropping, and
Oh.
I will say it a little bit differently too. That if you have marketing campaigns that are giving you bad leads, unqualified leads, it doesn't mean it's not a good campaign. It's just part
No,
of
not
the
at all.
industry.
Unfortunately,
Focus
not
on
at all.
them.
Yeah,
Yeah, focus.
and those are the challenges that we're facing as an industry. We're about 1 in 4 leads are qualified, and so what do we do with those other 75% of the leads that we now have them in our marketing ecosystem, and so they are still valuable for the long term. So what I ask my clients, and what we've built into our system even, is how do we decline these leads in a way that differentiates us, that makes us powerful advocates for this lead, that they actually do come to us when they do have a qualified case. And so how we handle rejections is really important. How we continue to add value to the relationship with that person over time, whether it's through community activities, outreach, events, just even that online newsletter that they may never even open, it still passes their inbox and has some value. So if you are declining 300 leads a month to get the 100 signed cases that you have, you're still increasing your list by 400 really good leads for the long run every single month. And if you can manage to stay in their peripheral vision, to build a relationship with them by adding value over time, then you'll have that lowering acquisition cost and that increasing reputation.
I love that. It always hurts my heart when I come across a law firm, especially if they're spending multiple millions and they're not list building. Like,
No.
why?
I know. And
they're out there.
Years ago, we were talking so much about the day of the cookieless environment, and if you've noticed, direct hits to your website are more and more common, and those aren't really people typing www.mylawfirm.com. Instead, it's people who are using cookieless browsers or operating incognito. And so we don't have as much data as we used to have in some cases, which is why that list is so important. If you've been collecting, even passively collecting email addresses and phone numbers for the last 5 years, you could have 30,000 contacts in your area that you could be marketing to in a meaningful way, if you do so with meaning. And that's where I think, we all have to put our heads together and say, well, what does really add value? How do we become true advocates of our community, and not just ask them to be advocates for us, but how can we be advocates for them? So build the list, use the list, send the emails, invite people to the parking lot party, do a fundraiser, host a cookout. These are the things that actually will generate long-term results.
Kerri, I love everything you're saying. I want more law firm owners to work with you. So what does a law firm owner need to do to get a discovery call with you, learn more about your services, and what services do you offer if we have time? Because I know you offer a lot. So
Sure. No, so we are, it's so interesting because we are evolving right there with the law firm. So we have added some AI services into our offering to help firms as they navigate the ways to best use AI. But our bread and butter is building these intake systems that connect your marketing, intake, and data so that you are really getting rich information that's going to make you more successful by allowing you to make data-driven decisions. So we build the systems, and then training the intake team is absolutely essential to your success. So don't just put people on the phone, train them, invest in them for the value of one very modest case, you can have a team that is better equipped to close with efficiency. And by that, I mean, you've got to get the one call closed. Stop chasing people, convert on the first call so that we're not in this endless pursuit of just checking in. It's so infuriating. We lose people that way. So build a more efficient team, connect the data dots, and make decisions based on that. Call me for a discovery call to look at where we can really add value for you. We're at Kerri, KerriJames, JAMES.co. And you can book a consult with me there, or shoot us an email, Kerri@KerriJames.co or hello@KerriJames.co. It's a trend.
That's awesome. And there you have it on the screen too. If you didn't get a chance to write it down as she was saying it, please make a note, give her a call, have her help you with your marketing. We need more marketing vendors like you in this world. I love everything that you said. I bet you have very interesting taste in sandwiches. So I'm going to ask you what your favorite sandwich is.
I have the hardest time turning down a Reuben. I just can't even do it. So I'm thinking that's probably not the most common sandwich that you ever get. And don't get me wrong, I love a really good Italian hero with gabagool. I'm not gonna lie, but if you sit me down and there's a freaking Reuben on the menu, I'm not moving on. I can't do it.
That's cool. Yeah, I like the Reubens too, but I'm more of an Italian. So yeah, I love meats.
Check for this past weekend. Great Italian hero this weekend. So
that's awesome. Well, there you have it, folks. Kerri, get in touch with her, level up your marketing with her machine building skills, and her team is ready to take your call. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, Margarita.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Care Sandwich. Remember, the way we care for our clients, our teams, and ourselves can make all the difference in our success. Until next time, keep caring, keep growing, and I'll see you on the next episode of Care Sandwich.